Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Brett's Brain. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how to build a budget and a forecast and why every startup founder should be doing it no matter what your stage. I'm Brett Brohl, former founder, current venture capitalist. Thanks so much for checking out this channel. Our goal here at Brett's Brain is to help entrepreneurs succeed. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends that are entrepreneurs out there. Ask us questions. What do you want to learn? What can we help you with in your entrepreneurial journey? All right. Something that not a lot of entrepreneurs, especially early stage entrepreneurs, do a very good job of is financial projections and budgeting. For most early stage founders, building out financial projections is something that you do whenever you go to raise capital. You don't actually use them as a tool for your startup, and that is a huge mistake. Most founders wait until post-Series A, and then you start actually having a budget that you're operating against, that you've put in place, that you're asking for board approvals, and the formalities behind a budget and financial projections come into play. But let me tell you, don't wait until you have a board. Don't do it because you feel obligated to do it for that board. Do it because it's the right thing to do for your company. And here's some quick early steps of how to do it. First, make sure that you're building out assumption-driven models. So don't take hey, we're doing $100 in revenue right now, and we're just going to grow that assume we're going to grow that by 5% month over month forever. And you see how your revenue grows over time, 5% month over month over month over month. And that's the most common way founders do it. They just assume a growth rate, plug it in, and then they have all their expenses built against what their revenue is. Again, that kind of weird, trickle down that just doesn't actually do anything for you, and it's not a useful tool for your startup. A better way to do it is to build an assumptions-driven model. And what that means is you assume you're going to spend this much money in marketing, and your return on that marketing is going to be, 2x or 3x in revenue. And you drill down even further. Why is there going to be a 2x or 3x return on revenue on your marketing spend? Well, in my industry, for every 100 sales call you make, you move on to all the way to close contract 2% of the time. And so if we think we can make 100 sales calls with one person, every time I hire a new person, I'm getting another 100 sales calls. So I'm closing 2 new clients every month down the line. That's a really rough example of how you make assumptions-driven revenue growth. Where are you spending? As a founder, if you're not spending, where are you focusing your time? So I'm going to spend my time doing 100 sales calls a month. And that's going to have a 2% conversion rate. And my average contract value is going to be this much. And it's all assumptions-driven. If you want to watch a great video on this, Troy Henikoff, which, go ahead and Google him and there's a great YouTube video where he walks through assumption-driven financial models for startups. Make sure you check it out. Another company, a startup that's actually helping startups with this is a company called Forecaster, which can help you build these financial models as well. But here's why they're so important. If you don't have and why they're important for your company. A, it forces you to think about what are the channels I can build and sell through that will actually drive revenue. So it forces you to think through the financial side of the business and marketing decisions you're making. So as you build a marketing and sales strategy, it forces you to think through what your ROI is going to actually be before you start deploying it. Second, how do you build a forecast or how do you build a strategic plan if you don't know how much revenue you're going to have, or you don't know how long your runway is going to be, or you don't know how many resources you have? It's impossible. You have to have a plan. How would you build a house without a blueprint? How would you go on a crazy hike through the woods without a map? You got to have the map. You got to have that blueprint. And the blueprint for a startup is your budget. It tells you what you need to work within and what you should be hitting. It also gives you all kinds of indicators around, are the things I'm doing working or not? So it's not enough to just build your financial projections for your investors once every 18 months when you go to fundraise and say, hey, here's what we're going to do. And having backward-looking financials that show, hey, here's what we actually did. Those don't actually do anything for you. The way you use it as a tool is you say, here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to deploy our resources, the resources that we have. And then on a monthly basis, you go look at how you did actuals versus your budget. Where did you overperform? Where did you underperform? How much cash do you still have? Are you still going to be able to deploy resources? Do you need to cut back? Can you spend more? If you don't have a great budget that you're operating against on an annual basis, you can't do any of those things. As you start getting a little bit further along and you have more senior level people, how do you give them a budget to operate against? If you haven't built a high level budget for your entire startup, you can't say, well, sales team and sales leader, here's your budget. And then you're handcuffing them because they can't do the things we just talked about. So build a budget, make it a tool that you use for your startup, and then make sure you go back and you do actuals versus what you thought you were going to do on a monthly basis. It's a great way to keep yourself on track, to keep yourself intellectually honest, and to enable yourself to make smart strategic decisions that are actually supported by fact, not just hope. Hope you like this. This is Brett from Brett's Brain. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, do all those things, and ask us questions if we can help you in the future.